Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Leecraft here. Thanks for joining me today. This week, we've been working on determining the main idea of sections of a nonfiction text, then summarizing the entire text. Today, we're going to be using some of the same deep thinking, but on a different part of the text. Today's goal is I can interpret information presented visually and quantitatively and explain how it helps the readers understand a particular concept. So what exactly does this mean? All right, I need you to think of a nonfiction text. Any text that you gain information from. Now, think of all the visuals that the author includes. Everything else in addition to the actual words in the paragraphs. Well, some examples to look out for are charts, graphs, diagrams, timelines, and maps, and many more. We've all seen these in one text or another from time to time, right? But why? Why does the author include these kind of visuals if they already have their main ideas and supporting details in the text already? What are these visuals for? Well, of course, they want to help the readers better understand what they are learning and then remember it too. Today we're going to be diving into one particular visual that connects with another article from our Scholastic magazine called Water Power. Then we're going to discuss specifically what it helps us better understand. Go ahead and pause the video here to read page 14 and 15, Water Power. Then, when you return to me, we'll take a look at a visual related to this article. I'll be here when you're ready. Okay, friends. So this article was about scientists who build a miniature river to investigate how waterfalls form. Cool. But did you notice any visuals that the author included? Like this one? This diagram shows a side-by-side of the scientist's model next to a real waterfall. Why was this included in the text? The author must have put it there for a reason, right? The author wanted to compare their model with a forming waterfall so that the reader can understand the similarity in design. It proves that scientists can build man-made replicas of natural waterways that take hundreds of thousands of years to observe. Pretty impressive if you ask me. Now, we're going to take a look at another quantitative visual that you did not see in this article. These are pie charts, and they are an example of a quantitative visual. A quantitative visual uses numbers to give the reader information. Do you see those numbers hiding in there? There's a whole lot of info packed into these slices of pie. Here's how I interpret information from a pie like this. So, first, I can identify where most of the world's fresh water is located by looking at this pie chart here, titled Total Fresh Water. If I'm looking at this pie chart, the biggest slice of pie is 68.7%, glaciers and ice caps. I can also tell if there's more water found in groundwater or in frozen ground. I see groundwater labeled here as 30.1%. Frozen ground is located over here on this pie chart, and that's 69%. So if I'm just comparing these numbers here, I know 69 is greater than 30, but the author's not telling me that there's more fresh water located in the frozen ground. Because if I look at the title of this pie chart here, this pie chart actually represents this, the other sources. So the frozen ground is the majority of these other sources located in this little sliver. I can also tell that there's more than twice as much fresh water found in swamps and marshes than in rivers. Take a look at those numbers there. 2.6, almost twice as much as our rivers. Let's get creative now with these pie charts. I know that scientists are saying that the world's average temperature is climbing, right? Well, how might these numbers change in this quantitative graph to reflect that? Well, obviously, the biggest freshwater location wouldn't be glaciers and ice caps anymore, would it? No. If the climate's temperature is climbing, that means it's getting warmer. So that means all of this frozen water would be transferred into liquid groundwater. So that would change these numbers, wouldn't it? These percentages would increase, while this one would decrease. That's how I read this quantitative data. I sure did learn a lot. What kind of text do you infer that this quantitative visual should be placed in? Do you think it belongs in our water power passage here? Or maybe it would be better in another text? Well, if you're asking me, these charts are discussing freshwater locations on Earth, and our daily passage was all about one of those locations, those rivers. But I don't think the main idea of these pie charts compare to the main idea of our passage, water power. No, I think that this visual might be better suited for a nonfiction passage about, say, the Earth's climate. I believe that the author is helping us to understand that most of the world's fresh water is frozen. Look how big that pie chart part is. I also know that the only reason why it's like that is because of the current state of our climate, right? So, of course, there are many other passages that this visual could fit nicely into, so that's just one idea. So remember, boys and girls, when you're reading a nonfiction text, don't skip over these visuals and quantitative graphs and diagrams. They're all important for your understanding of the text, and they're just downright fun to look at. Take your time and look at the big picture. The reason why it's there in the first place. Always ask yourself, what is this helping me understand better? When you finish this video, make sure you click on your quick check for the day. You'll be answering questions about another visual and the information that it's presenting. Until next time, stay safe and wash those hands often. Bye-bye.